Hi guys, and welcome to Horologique, and thank you so much for joining me in the review of my very first Grand Seiko. This is a very exciting day for me. It's the first time that I'm going to be unboxing a Grand Seiko, featuring it on the channel, and indeed owning a Grand Seiko. This is just a first impressions video. Of course, I'm going to be doing the full reviews with macro videos of those beautiful features of that dial, of those indices, of those hands, and I hope to be really amazed. Let's go ahead and start the unboxing. And I have not done one of these unboxing videos for a long time. Please allow me this time to do it because I want to share my excitement with you guys. Alright, let's go ahead and start the unboxing. Okay, and as you can see, we have zoomed in, and it is part of the Spring Drive collection. And already this box is pretty nice, but let's open it and see. Wow, this is very nicely cushioned in this blue velvet. Very nice to the touch. Let's see. Okay. We have manuals, Grand Seiko Spring Drive, and here's the Spring Drive instruction booklet, which tells you a bit about the history of Spring Drive. Apparently, does it tell you how it works? Well, okay, here it does talk about the history and everything you need to know. Alright, let's go. Time for the truth. And well, you cannot see it yet, but I think you might have guessed at this point. Very nice inner box. And yes, this is the beautiful Seiko Spring Drive Snowflake. Okay, let's talk about dimensions. You've got a diameter of 40.7, 40.8, a height of 12.6, 12.7 millimeters. You've got a lug to lug of 48.5, and the end link to end link is 52 millimeters. The lug width is 20, and the bracelet tapers from 20 to an 18, and then it stays at 18 at the beautifully signed clasp. And the size for my 6.5 inch or 16.5 centimeter wrist, it weighs only 95 grams thanks to that titanium construction. And if we add the 3 missing links, it's not even 100 grams. So a snowflake indeed. And let's go to the main striking feature of this watch. It's that beautiful dial with those amazingly polished indices and that beautiful dial, which is made to resemble piled up snow as seen from the Grand Seiko Artisan Studio. And the effect is beautiful. This might be the most special of Grand Seiko watches, and that's why I picked it up personally. At the top of the dial you can see the Seiko branding, which is applied. That has been replaced in present models by only the GS logo and the Grand Seiko Spring Drive, which here is at the bottom of the dial. So at the bottom of the dial you can see applied as well the GS logo, and just below you have written Grand Seiko and Spring Drive. At 3 you've got a date wheel, which is beautifully framed, and that frame, just when it catches light, it shines as brightly as the indices. And at 8 you have got the power reserve, and that is beautiful as well. If you look a bit to the outside, you will see the second markings at every second where there is no applied index, and there's a rehot that is really well polished and reflects the dial. Let's go to those hands now. Look at those beautiful, beautiful sword hands. They are extremely well polished to the sides in order to catch the light, and they do it wonderfully. And it does look like you can cut yourself on one of those if you were to get it out. And the second hand is blued, and it glides beautifully on top of that amazing dial, courtesy of that 9R65 movement, the Spring Drive, which, well, I'll try and explain in very brief detail how it works. And after the dial, the most special part of this watch must be that beautifully finished and technically amazing Spring Drive 9R65 movement. And if you have not heard of Spring Drive, let me explain it to you very quickly. And it's a hybrid movement which uses pretty much all mechanical parts, but there's no usual escapement. The escapement is replaced by a clutch, which is itself attached to a quartz oscillator. There is no battery here. The energy going through the quartz is a result of the mechanical energy stored in the spring. All the timing elements of the watch keep quartz accuracy thanks to that quartz crystal in there. And that makes it that this watch has an impressive accuracy of 15 seconds a month, which is actually quartz accuracy. So Seiko took a lot of resources and time building up this movement. It started in the 70s and finally it was put to market in 1999. So it took them over 20 years, and they spent part of the 2000s improving on this movement, and it has those impressive characteristics, and on top of that it's got a 72-hour power reserve. So really an amazing improvement and an actual achievement of watchmaking. The case itself, well, it is very well made, but at first glance it takes a back seat when you compare it with the dial. The front of the lugs is vertically brushed, and that is beautifully well done, a very fine grain. Mind you, it is not really easy to work on titanium. You've got a chamfer, a pretty large chamfer, which goes from lug to lug, and then you've got the side of the watch, which is beautifully polished, as is the chamfer actually, with that proprietary Zaratsu technique, which means that an artisan will manually hold all the shining parts of the case against a turning wheel, and will make this amazingly nice polish. The bracelet also takes a back seat to the dial. It is fairly well done. It is a 5-link bracelet which resembles an oyster bracelet, but for the fact that it has two shining lines on the middle. And those shining lines are individual pieces, and they're shined as beautifully as the sides of the case. And you've got a small chamfer at each edge of the bracelet. The clasp is nothing special. The Grand Seiko logo is embossed, and the clasp is properly milled, and all is titanium, mind you. And a defect that many people find to this bracelet is the fact that it's only pin and collar. According to some, Seiko believe that it'll be a mistake to put pins on a bracelet made of titanium, as the pins would eat up part of the titanium, making it less secure. I don't know the truth. No expense has been spared in other parts of this watch, so I suppose that might be true actually. But why I doubt? Because there's so many other companies that make titanium bracelets and that do use screws, the Tudor Pelagos for example, and many others. Alright guys, I am really impressed by this watch, by the beauty of it. One thing is to see it on a video or even at the store, it's not the same, and one thing is to have it in front of you and tell you it's yours. I assure you it shines, and again, after the review, the most impressive feature are those amazingly shining elements on the dial. Not even the dial itself, but those shining elements. Okay, and remember that this is just an amuse-bouche. It's only the unboxing and first impressions. The actual review is coming really soon with macros, with positives and negatives, and I am sure that we will have a blast with this watch, comparing it to many others as well, including its what it is becoming its arch nemesis, Rolex. Alright, which one has the best finish? Which one is a better watch? Okay guys, thank you very much. Stick around, subscribe to the channel to see all those nice reviews coming. Thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you really soon.